Hey everyone, I'm Victor Dwyer, and today I'm going to talk to you about a tool that I'm really excited about. It's called Trellis, and I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using it and how it may benefit you to really increase your margin, especially when we start talking pricing strategy and all the particular variables. And the reason why I went with Trellis is because it seems like they're the only tool out there when it comes down to dynamic pricing that can account for a lot of variables such as ad spend and when it comes down to A/B testing and when it comes to conversion rate. So let's dive into it. Let me show you what I mean by that. So right now I'm currently in the pricing dashboard within the Trellis platform, and you're really able to see the differences between the possible sales increases and the particular margin percentage you get on those particular sales. And what I find really fascinating about this, you'll be able to see the direct correlation between price, sales, and margin, which I really like. But on this dashboard, you can kind of get a sense of like a holistic view on, is the margin increasing? Because let's be honest, like, margin is like the number one thing that everyone's talking about right now, as profitability is being really tough. So let me go into like how I analyze and how I'm looking at the price testing over the short period of time. So let me take a look into it. So as you can see here, we kept the same price practically the same time. This is Prime Day, so it's a little bit off when it comes down to skewing the data. But for the most part, you could see that we hover around 20 to 30 units. And as you can see, once we started raising the price after $14.99, we really started to see our units start to really decline after keeping it there at $14.99. But as you can see right here, once we started raising it back to around that $13.75, around that level, we started to pick up the units and get around the same. We even had a day where we had 44 units in there as well. So we started really picking up when it comes to the amount of units. But as soon as we started raising the sales past that $14 mark, our units went down pretty dramatically. As we can see right here, that it looks like around that $13 is where we can actually make almost $2 in margin, which is really huge. Instead of making only very little margin practically, we're actually able to make almost 30% margin. $2 doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. For a $10 product, you almost make 20% more margin by almost raising at $3. And it's just really amazing how you're able to kind of see this data by saying, hey, if you increase it to $14 past that mark, you start to see sales decline. But when you see it around that $13 mark, you see almost the same amount of sales. And what this does is, the goal is to keep the peak amount of sales and the peak amount of pricing and find that direct correlation where you can find the best price for yourself, where you can have the highest price possible and have the highest sales possible. And it's to find that kind of golden number in between. And that's what this kind of really does. And what's amazing is you're able to see it with the advertising on that, which is able to account for all the advertising variables that are going on with this. And why does that matter? Because with the advertising, let's say you have a really good keyword that all of a sudden starts performing really well. Let's just use the keyword fat burner. If we use that particular keyword, and let's say that's a super high converting keyword, then all our results are going to be skewed. We're not going to know what's working. We're going to say, oh, this price is doing really well, but in reality, it's just a keyword. So when you have both platforms combined, where it is running the advertising and the price testing, it's able to see which variable is the factor, and seeing if it's the pricing that's involved or if it's the particular keyword involved. And I like having both platforms together because you're able to really see in the same level, like, hey, was the ad spend increased? Was the ad sales? Like, what is the benefit of that? And you're able to kind of see everything on one dashboard rather than having it work in separate silos. So I kind of like everything combined in one when it comes down to the pricing. And that's kind of my opinion on what's going on with the pricing. And I've only been running this for less than a month or so. We've already been able to see some pretty good results so far, even this early into it, and almost increase our margin by almost 20% by just raising our price by $2. And we'll really be able to see the data on what works and what doesn't. And I'll be able to share that throughout this entire journey. But this is what I've been able to see so far. And also, another thing I wanted to mention was the difference between this bar that you can set when it comes down to the pricing strategy. So from here, you can really see if you want to go for volume or if you want to go for margin. And why does this matter? It depends on what your business goals are. If your business goal is cash flow and you need as much cash in the bank as possible, that's where you would change this button right here. You would really go for the volume to really get as much cash flow in the bank as possible. So that way you'll never run out of money in the cash flow side. But then when it comes down to the margin, if you're trying to make the most profit possible, that's where you could really change this. So it really depends on your business goals, but I really like how that is there. Because normally when we set the price, it's just like, that's it. There's nothing much to it. But here you can really set this to your goals if you want more margin, if you want more volume, and you'll really be able to set that based off your business goals. So that's another feature that I really liked as well. And I've been really liking it so far. So I'll keep you guys updated on how my pricing strategy evolves over time. But profitability is the number one concern everyone's talking about right now. And this can increase your profit by almost 20% sometimes. And we're able to show that right here. So I'm really excited, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.